Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast. Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Steve Suarez. Steve Suarez is a serial entrepreneur with experience in conceptualizing, executing, and successfully sustaining growth in a broad range of disciplines. Steve's driving philosophy has always been, and continues to be, providing vision and guidance with a watchful eye on the bottom line. Steve has founded and sold several successful companies, including a title company, purchased and sold lpolitical.com, co-founded a global fitness festival called Wadapalooza, launched Black Stage Productions, and now created an esports company called The Ultimate Gamer. Steve also holds an MBA from the University of Florida. Well, good afternoon, Steve. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about around technology. My son was a professional esports gamer, so this is great to have you on the show. Let's jump right in. And Steve, you have an amazing bio as a successful serial entrepreneur. Can you share with us what drives you to be so creative in this space of entrepreneurship?
You know, I think it kind of, I figured out at a very young age, funny enough, that I just had I had an issue with authority, right? So I never really wanted to have a job and a boss. And I think what truly drives me is the challenge of creating memorable experiences for people. So the way I look at every endeavor that I take on as an entrepreneur is really trying to create the most memorable experiences. I grew up working doors in clubs. So, you know, my job was to make sure everybody that night had a great time and we had a great crowd inside. And that kind of sparked that in me. So everything I've done in my life entrepreneurially has been centered around just really cool experiences and bringing people together. And that's kind of what drives me. The challenge of making it work and seeing people happy is what drives me on a daily basis.
That's awesome. I like that. Whenever there's a positive experience in your life, it kind of helps shape and mold your future. And I think that's always great to hear someone's story. So thanks for sharing. Steve, tell us about your new company. This is what really has gotten me excited. The Ultimate Gamer. How do you plan to change esports by building the world's largest community of gamers through content, competition, and specifically, how will your company and community truly transform the esports industry as we know it today?
That's a great question. And I think, you know, what's truly special about what we're doing with Ultimate Gamer is that it's not being done anywhere in the world, right? So when you talk about tech, there's a lot of tech out there around gaming. And I'm talking specifically the gaming space, but there's a lot of tech and a lot of it is similar and people are doing it just slightly different and some are doing it better and some are not. As far as platforms are concerned and communities, we're trying to build the largest community of gamers in the world. And how are we doing that, right? We're doing it completely agnostic of what game you play or how you like to play or on what you like to play, right? So whether you play PC or console, whether you like first-person shooter games, battle royale games, MOBA games, fighting games, or sports games, there's a place for you in our community. Currently, prior to Ultimate Gamer, everything in the community, as far as I was concerned, was very siloed. You have your Fortnite communities, right? You have your StarCraft communities, your FIFA communities, but nobody was uniting this incredibly passionate community under one umbrella, right? And what do we do as a community? We come together once a year to find the best gamer on earth. So what was interesting to me when I started really getting into esports, I've been playing video games my whole life, right? But when I started looking at the business of esports and e-gaming, was that nobody in the world was finding the best gamer on earth, as far as I'm concerned, right? We know who the best gamers in every game are, but I don't think you can say you're the best gamer on earth because you're best at FIFA or you're the best at StarCraft or you're the best at Dota, right? I think the best gamer has to be the best all-around gamer. So first of all, we went out and we trademarked best gamer on earth, best gamer in the world, best gamer on the planet, and best gamer in the universe. So we just had a recent write-up in Gamer Magazine where the journalist, you know, kind of the first sentence was like, hey, this term best gamer on earth gets thrown around a lot, but now the only ones that are allowed to say it are us, right? And how are we going to find the best gamer on earth and celebrate gaming through this competition, which we're calling the Ultimate Gamer, which is absolutely free to register. ultimategamer.com. You couldn't give us a credit card if you wanted to. We just really want to bring the community together through this platform. And we have an online worldwide open, which is our phase 1 of our competition. So you go on, you register for free, and starting September 1st, you'll be able to compete in your 2 favorite games out of 8 games that we've chosen, 2 in each genre of gaming. From there, the top 500 gamers in each game move on to phase two, where then we're going to prove the ultimate gamer concept. You no longer have the luxury and the freedom of choice where you're going to pick your favorite games and kind of cherry pick what you're good at. We want to make the gamer uncomfortable, and we want to truly find the best gamer in the world. So we're going to test the gamer through the 4 different genres of gaming, depending on what you're playing, either PC or console. And from there, the top 200 in the world will advance to the world championship, where, we're going to give away $1 million to the best gamer on earth. As a community, as an ultimate gamer community, we're looking to form the largest community of gamers. And then once a year, we come together to celebrate gaming through this competition and find the best gamer on earth. And then we also are creating really cool content and gathering great stories and, just really bringing in culture and art and music into the community. And we're having a lot of fun doing it. And I'm very proud of what we've done so far.
That's simply amazing. I love it. I love it. Steve, I appreciate you building this community because, as you know, my son and I, when he was younger, I had to travel with him, and it was just, all it was is StarCraft. But there were so many other cool games I wanted to go break away and watch, but I couldn't. So I like your concept. I think it's going to do very well, and we certainly support it. So, Steve,
that's great. Thank you.
You bet. Due to this global pandemic, right? We've all had to make shifts. This is all we talk about my last 2-3 months of podcasts here. But, not holding games in physical arenas, convention centers, stadiums, and we've all done that, right? And that's pretty cool, the experience itself. But the good news for you maybe is many of these tournaments can be held online or streamed online. But what's your major change to your business strategy since COVID hit us?
Yeah. So to your point, and this is a great question, a lot of these things can be held online. So luckily we were able to pivot to the online. But one of our major focuses when we created this was to bring the online offline. That was really a big focus for us. So the idea originally was to have our worldwide phase one totally online, right? There's no barrier to entry. It's absolutely free. Anybody can register. By the way, we currently have over 1 million people registered on our platform to compete September 1st, which I'm really excited about. And it's an incredible mix of women and children and adults. To me, ideally, a 58-year-old woman, somewhere in the world wins this thing. I think would be a great story. But but what we've had to change was phase two was supposed to be regionalized. So our idea was to separate the world basically into the 7 different continents, and we would have live regional. So you would qualify based on where you live. So you had the North American regional, the South American, the Europe, the Asia, the Africa, you had all these regionals that would then become a live piece, right? So if you qualified for your regional event, we would hold it in a live arena where we bring the entire community together to celebrate gaming on a 4-day festival where we would have music, partners that would have incredible activations and experiences for the spectators, volunteers, gamers, and really bring that fandom to life as you see it now, but I feel like these stadium, and there's nothing wrong with them, and I'm not knocking them. It's just not for me. These big stadium gaming competitions, you're sitting in a chair and you're watching them play, and that's great and that's exciting and it's fun. But our idea for a true festival where you bring in musical acts and you bring in, different experiences, you bring in, your educational piece, right? And you have your seminars off to the side where people can go and educate themselves on coding, on STEM, on streaming, on the business of gaming, on whatever those topics are, which we've already done when we did our first live event for Ultimate Gamer a year ago as a proof of concept. We had 50 industry experts come in and speak, and we find that that's super entertaining. Food, drinks, sponsor activations, and make it a true festival and a celebration of gaming. That was our idea initially, to have 7 regional events, and then the World Championship would feed from there, which would also be a live event where we would want to bring in hundreds of thousands of people to celebrate gaming and watch us crown the best gamer on earth. So that was the big pivot we made. Right now, the way it stands, it's all phase 1 and phase 2 are digital, and phase 3 would be a studio experience. So the top 200 people would have to go to we're giving away $1 million, and we're not going to do that virtually. So they would have to go to a live studio experience where we would broadcast it, kind of like what you see the UFC doing nowadays, the basketball, the NBA is doing it, the Major League Baseball is doing it. It's just empty stadiums. That's what we would be doing for the finals now. But hopefully we can, as a community and as a kind of as global citizens, we can, get past this COVID stage and kind of all unite again. I think, as human beings, we need that physical, experience and interaction.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to COVID going away for good.
Yeah.
But thanks for sharing, Steve. So last thing, this is the big question. Get asked my audience, is there something you can share from your entrepreneur experience that'd be helpful for our audience, especially those looking to jump into entrepreneurship?
Listen, being an entrepreneur is the most exhilarating and the most exhilarating thing in the world, but it's also the most stressful and a job in the world, right? There's a
Sure.
lot of failures, there's a lot of successes, and I just encourage everybody to try it at least once. And there's really, you got to build a great team around you. Is the other thing I would say. My team is top notch. We have the most professional and talented team in the world, and I absolutely love working with them. And the last thing I would say was that as an entrepreneur, I don't believe that you can ever do anything for money. We don't even talk about, really, we don't talk about money. It's not why we do things. Our why is always centered around experiences, and we love what we do. It's not a job for us. We get to do what we do, and we look at it as a privilege. We love it, and we love doing it with the people that we do it with. So I think if you have kind of those ingredients in whatever you're doing, there's no way that you're not going to be successful. So I definitely just, be passionate about what you do it with people that you love and care about, and always do it with good heart and do it for the right reasons.
Thank you for sharing that. I think that's definitely a lot of the same advice or same sentiments that other entrepreneurs have shared as well. So I think that's great. And hopefully that will resonate with a lot of our audience. Thanks again, Steve. And I just want to thank you personally. It was a pleasure having you on today. And I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Yeah, well, the pleasure's been all mine, and I greatly appreciate you taking the time and having me on. It's been fun.
You bet. Bye for now.